Hi everyone, and welcome to the SwiftCase Productivity Podcast. My name's Adam Sykes, the founder of SwiftCase, the professional productivity platform, and today I've got with me
Phil Whitby, developer at SwiftCase.
And Craig McCarthy, development manager at SwiftCase.
Okay, great. So today we were going to talk about high street shops versus online retailers or services as well, because having had some experience with a printer recently where I thought, let's go local and let's let's support local businesses. And basically what I could get next day from an online service took nearly 2.5 weeks from a local printer. I'm just wondering, are local businesses failing only because of people want to shop online, or actually is it just because the fact that the service is just so much more responsive to the customer online, and also you don't have to leave your house?
Yeah, exactly. Well, actually, you were saying that just then, and I was thinking about how I've got to feel what I was thinking. How it used to be that you trusted a local place. So it wasn't long ago before you were like, go local because you can trust it because they
the faceless internet.
They might steal your credit card details, blah, blah, all this stuff might happen. You don't know them, who they are. Now, it's the internet that you trust.
Yeah.
And you have to be convinced to go locally, leveraged.
Yeah.
Now, I wonder also whether, because a lot of local businesses, small businesses, are actually going out of business, any business that you're going into is more likely to be new.
Yeah.
And therefore a little bit naive about the process. I mean, that's not always the case, obviously, so you have some real stalwarts that have stayed on because they pay all the rent and stuff like that. But part of the other thing about local businesses as well is that there's some things that probably work really well being local and being person to person, but not necessarily the service they're supposed to be providing.
Yeah.
It's the thing that works really well.
Yeah.
So you might get the reassurance of speaking to somebody and knowing that there's somebody there that's responsible. Yeah. That you can go and
I think that's where it's changed, hasn't it? Rather than just going somewhere to buy something now, you're paying for the service of someone who's you assume is an expert, and they can give you the advice. And it's the back and forth of like the photos, for example. I know a few people who have gone to local printers to print like wedding plans and stuff like that. Because for two of my friends, actually, I did like the seating plan thing for them. And they said like, oh, where do we get this printed and stuff like that? I was like, well, don't know, to be honest with you. They said you're probably best going to an actual local printer, and they'll tell you everything that you need to know, and that's where it's key. It's difficult to kind of do that online, I think, especially with something as big as that, where you kind of want the assurance of it, like, we'll get this printed for you. We think it's best on this. Here's a few examples. Touch it, feel it. And it's the same with like the likes of clothes shopping, I suppose. I suppose in some shops you can go and kind of like try it on, see what it's like. It's the sort of stuff that you need to see it, you need to feel it, you need to experience it before doing it.
But people that aren't as...
If they're not offering that though, and it's not, and ultimately it's not
what
done.
You want.
Because you pay a premium at the high street. Because online, most of the time, you can shop around more easily rather than driving around everywhere. You can usually use voucher codes and all sorts of
there's no overheads for them. There's less overheads for them.
Exactly, and as you said, it's convenient because it just gets delivered to your door.
Same day in some cases.
So that's why it's really important for the service on the high streets to be top notch and also to be very personal. And I think
because you need to hook the person in as well.
Exactly.
I see shops now, like we've had this discussion before, it's more like galleries.
Like,
so I go in, if I was going to buy a camera, I'd go into the shop and I'd talk to the guy and I'd look at the camera and touch it, and then I'd go and buy it cheaper from maybe from China, maybe even like 500 quid cheaper. And those places know that that's happening. And the only way they're going to get people to buy them through the physical stores is if they either get quite canny or aggressive shop assistants to kind of funnel you along into actually purchasing or guilt you or do whatever they can.
But that's not a good model.
That's not a good model. No, it's not. They effectively have to just become those galleries for user experience, and then hope that you'll buy it from maybe their online store. Effectively,
it's the equivalent of the paperclip, isn't it, on Microsoft Word that everyone hated? Like those people that crop up in the shops and go, "Oh, how are you getting on?"
And that's the negative experience people want to avoid precisely by
I'm wondering if there is a way, like, you know, the way that you'd have referrals online and you get a certain percentage. There's a way that, like, the classic one I think of is bookshops. Like, I like to go to the local bookshop because it's nice to browse around. And like, we do buy books from the bookshop, and one thing our bookshop does, our local one, puts on lots of events with authors, and we go to quite a lot of them. So you pay for the ticket, so the author does a talk or the signing, and then you get the book as well. So it's kind of like an all-in-one experience, which you're not going to get that if you order the book from Amazon, are you?
Yeah, you get
so that's better. But like, sometimes I'll just order it from Amazon because I know I want a book, and you know, they haven't got it in stock, and it comes next day, and it's probably £5, £10 cheaper. So, you know, there's a balancing act between them. But if you went in and somehow the shop could record that you'd been in the shop to get the advice, I don't know how it would work in practice. But there must be something there where, you know, you can kind of say, use this code, and it will give you £1 off the book or whatever.
Yeah.
But then actually the shop get £1 for referring you to that.
I think there should become more galleries, especially with stuff like, well, just physical products.
Yeah.
Imagine you go in there and you want to buy some clothes or something like that, or just the Apple shop is a great example, because that's the way I envision it in my head. You go in, and rather than just like taking it home there and then, you've got all the products laid around, really cheap to run, just like one person looking after it. You can kind of go in, try it, and then rather than going, okay, I'll take that, you can order it there and then. But because you're ordering it through the store, you get a discount, and that's the key thing, I think.
But the actual store gets the payment, if you like.
Or whatever sustains them. In a way. But
I think that's the only way you're going to.
But it's how do you?
And how is that fair?
How do you do that?
Like, you know, you do need. It's like you're saying, like bus stop. You have a bus stop in a very remote area. People don't travel on that bus very often, but it's still kind of needed, and it's still necessary for it to be there. And if you judged like a bus service by its capacity to make money, the fundamental job of a bus service isn't necessarily to make money, obviously for society, is it?
Well, it depends, doesn't it? It depends on how you view the transport. In that, I suppose, if you wanted to look at it that way, how much of a subsidy should it be given that person has chosen to live in a particular area and probably have a better quality of life because they live in the countryside. You know, why shouldn't they move to the city if they want to have better services? So there's a trade-off in that, like, if you choose to live somewhere out of the main area, how much is that the responsibility of society?
That's a good point.
Unless it's the case that
it's fortune, isn't it? If you're unfortunate to live somewhere, that
unless it's the case that you either need to be there or you can't move.
Exactly.
So, for example, say like you're a teacher and you happen to teach in a country school, you need to commute to it or you need to come back from it. Then that's a necessary requirement, and you get this in London, don't you, at the moment, where like people who actually are needed in the city can't afford to live there because of the high prices, but the cost of transport's, you know, astronomical as well. But so there is something in that, but then again, there's also the flip side of people who just happen to live out in the middle of nowhere by choice.
But it's so that those shops that will get more of the referrers might just be in high foot area. Traffic area.
Or they could be popular. They could be popular.
You know, if you apart, isn't it?
You know, if you get to like I don't know, there's always like the record shop, you know, sort of idea which is coming back, isn't it? Because people like vinyl.
It feels like it's the thing though.
If there's but if there's a decent record shop, people will probably travel to it. If there's a decent camera shop,
isn't it?
You know, where you know the guy knows all about cameras, then people would go and go to that shop. But I think the idea that somehow high street shops have a right to exist. I think that's like
it's interesting.
They only want to
kind of a nostalgia
experience. It's all about experience, really. You've got to go in there and you've got to be like, wow, I enjoy this. Whether it's a social aspect or whether it's just the sheer amazing service that they provide,
or if it's very cheap and instant. So like I bought some birthday cards today. I wouldn't order them online because just the delivery cost immediately makes birthday cards insanely expensive. Whereas you can go to the local shop and nip and get a birthday card or a small item. Quite, you know, you want it that day. You want it. You don't want to order your birthday card that you forgot to get or whatever. You know, for 2 days or even next day. You need it there and then. So there are some things you want instantly, aren't they?
Well, my wife ordered a really cool birthday card for me from Etsy, but it didn't arrive for like a week and a half, so it actually missed. It arrived on my birthday.
Yeah.
But she was like, "Oh, but it's so perfect." So that's the kind of like the trade-off, isn't it?
Yeah. But, it's the same with food. We've discussed this before, haven't we? Food shopping is convenient online, but because you don't see it, it's a much more difficult experience to actually work out whether that's, am I going to get a decent,
that comes down to trust again, doesn't it? In the end, so what I had thought there was that what the local experiences and shops that are really good are ones that have a unique experience depending on the personality of the proprietor.
Yeah.
And that's kind of now translated to corporations, and now corporations have personality.
Yeah.
The front that you define your shopping experience by.
Yeah.
So, like you're saying, you go to the guy with the camera shop, he knows the stuff. It's about how much of his personality bleeds into his shop and makes that a unique experience. And it's hard for Jessops to recreate that. So Jessops will die before a local camera shop will die.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they can't do it, they can't transmit it. Nobody even knows who the head of Jessops is. It Mr. Jessop? Who knows?
Yeah.
But like the corporations that are strong tend to have quite a personality figure at the forefront, whether that's a very banal one like Bill Gates or Steve Ballmer, they still have a personality, don't they?
Yeah.
Colonel's son.
Well, even those ones where they want to stay behind the scenes, they have some kind of figurehead, don't they?
Yeah, but they're another example of the instant. You don't want to order your KFC for next time.
Yeah, but you go to like a master chef for your, you know what I mean? You go to a completely non-existent fictional person for your fast stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really interesting, isn't it?
It's crazy, but I think you had a good point before, the idea that actually internet companies now
it's flipped, isn't it?
Are quite old companies, some of them. You look at like Amazon.
So the young upstarts are the local people.
Amazon was years ago, wasn't it? Now, I mean, mid-90s, is it Amazon?
Because you just associate, internet new.
Yeah,
but it's really not anymore.
No. I mean, you look like 95, 96, sort of
I remember,
start of the when people were really getting online.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a decent length of time to be in business now.
Yeah.
So that is an interesting point. But I think, like I said, I think the key thing is this experience, isn't it? If you are on the high street, you need to have a decent service, but also be able to provide something that's different to what online.
Have a personality that's unique, or makes, like say, travel from. To go to that place. And
it's got to be a unique selling point, as normal with businesses. Make sure you've got a unique selling point, and you're providing a high quality service, and people will be willing to pay for that.
It used to be that the product was the unique thing that people thought about, but now I think it's not the product, because the product can be easily manufactured.
Everything's commoditized, isn't it?
Fabricated easily. I can get an Apple iPhone in from China that is not made by Apple, that looks exactly the same as all, you know what I mean?
I think there's an element of tribalism sometimes as well, with which
you associate yourself
with where you shop, which is quite interesting. You see with the supermarkets, don't you?
Oh yeah.
I really love that one.
Waitrose or versus Aldi.
Some people won't go to another a specific shop.
No, that's interesting.
There's a few I don't like, purely due to the experience.
Yeah.
We won't mention them.
No, we won't mention them.
They'll just have to read between the lines and learn.
Okay, so if you've got any comments you want to drop down below about the high street and online, then please drop them in the comments below.
And if you're interested in sharing an amazing experience gleaming with personality and some really cool figureheads as well, head over to swiftcase.co.uk, where you can find out some of the things that we do. And check us out at SwiftCase UK on social media as well.
And if you buy that, then subscribe, and you'll get notified whenever we make any more videos about subjects like this.
Okay, thanks everyone for listening, and we'll see you again next time on the SwiftCase Productivity Podcast.